Next up, we have ISeeChange, presented by Julia.
I'd like you all to meet Destiny Bell of New Orleans. Residents like her have found traditional methods for modeling floods, planning, and adaptation fail to account for the block-by-block granularity and lived community experience needed to evaluate solutions that are proposed by cities, engineers, and insurers, which makes those solutions less effective and less trusted. ISeeChange's unique approach to community-sourced data begins with individuals and grows into communities, co-investigating their environment together and co-designing solutions with their civic leaders. We channel the power of Destiny to share her flood story with her phone or her computer, which we sync with local weather and sensor data. She can also add her own hyperlocal data, like rain intensity or flood duration. As we collect stories from her and her neighbors, we co-create a community flooding record. Unlike emergency-only applications, ISeeChange takes a proactive approach. We can track and verify the storm-by-storm differences and provide the social context to make solutions more effective and targeted. For example, that pink dot, that's Destiny's Corner. Her neighbors also flagged it as a hotspot that impedes public transit, trash pickup, and keeps children from playing in their yard. It wasn't included in the city's green infrastructure design proposals for the neighborhood, but when the city saw the ISeeChange data, they included it in their design proposal requests. Data alone is not our only value. Multiple stakeholders seek out our community engagement services, which build public trust through dialogue and build education through participation. Engineers and public utilities include us in multi-million-dollar stormwater infrastructure proposals, which put community needs front and center. Cities partner with us to increase risk awareness and to lower community insurance rates. And educators tell us that students using ISeeChange improve not only their STEM, but also their literacy skills. We see a growing market for downscale data and engagement services that mutually benefit residents and cities. Last year, Congress approved $90 billion in wildfire and flood risk disaster packages alone in 1 year. And by the end of the decade, the smart city market is estimated to be a $400 billion market. By 2020, we aim to be profitable and on the front lines of technology. ISeeChange is a flexible tool that can monitor a number of climate threats, and we know that threats to coastal communities are multifaceted. ISeeChangers have provided early reports of droughts and wildfires in Colorado, and they've helped model hard-to-detect indoor heat waves with sensors in Harlem. With MIT, we aim to enhance our features with AI, scale, and grow our global networks. From New Orleans to Kenya to Kerala, ISeeChangers are already actively participating, and together we can see change and make one. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Questions from the judges? Eddie?
So I had two questions. How do you get people to participate in reporting, and how do you ensure their reports are reliable?
So that's a great question, and basically we start with where the community is at. The people who are most impacted by climate threats are not on Twitter. They're not commenting on the newspapers. So we actually engage local businesses that are impacted by flooding. Their customers are impacted. So they put our materials right front and center on the counters. These residents give us their numbers, their email addresses, and raise their hands and say, put yourself here. This is where the problems are. And with regards to verifying, we actually provide instrumentation often. Once we find the flood spots, we have rain gauges that are being purchased as community engagement materials by the cities that we work with, and we can also provide sensors and other instrumentation to verify our models. In 2017, it was the rainiest summer on record in New Orleans between all the big hurricanes, and our data was actually more accurate than the radar by 2 inches. It misestimated a major flooding event that took out cars and neighborhoods in our town.
Others?
Can I talk about things that I didn't get to say?
After we respond to questions.
So in this map, are these all the places where there are active users of
Yes.
ISeeChange?
We have had no marketing. This is all word of mouth. We've focused on the problems to know how we are unique with regards to other social media, and we're right now ready to grow and scale.
So how many users currently?
3,000 active users.
How do you make money?
We are targeting the engineering and design firms that are being tasked with multi-million-dollar infrastructure and green infrastructure work to mitigate flooding, because there's two things that they're required to do. One is to verify the local models, which are really difficult. You need downscale data, and the models can't provide it. So also community engagement, to be able to build public trust for all the solutions that we're working with when it comes to climate resilience and climate adaptation. But we know that this is a wicked problem. Equity and engagement is a wicked problem, and we know that cities are requesting us, and we also talk to insurers. Insurers are increasingly trying to motivate residents to take proactive actions on their properties to mitigate flooding, and we can actually use community engagement to finance and evaluate. Any one of my solvers have presented solutions that if we could document the impacts before and after, we could use that to actually spread and finance those solutions.
So Julie, if you haven't been doing much marketing, how did the folks in all these different areas find out?
Word of mouth. It blows my mind. I log into ISeeChange any day, and there's someone from somewhere new telling me about something they care about. And the truth is, our solution is so meaningful to those who are impacted by climate change.
Thank you so much.